Have you ever felt your mind stuck in a loop of negative thoughts? Like every time you face a challenge, that inner voice grows louder and harsher and leaves you feeling overwhelmed with stress and anxiety? As someone who used to have an inner voice talking shit all the time, I learned 3 ways to help me get out of these situations. First, I'm going to teach you how to manage that shit talk by yourself using quick and simple steps. Next, I'm going to teach you how you can use relationships as a tool to deal with your struggles. Lastly, I'm going to teach you how you can use your environment as a tool to quiet that voice. Picture this, you're lying in bed, ready to fall asleep, but suddenly your brain won't shut up. Did I lock the door? What if I said the wrong thing at work today? The thoughts start piling up, and before you know it, you're replaying every little mistake from the past week. That spiral of overthinking keeps you tossing and turning for hours. We've all been there, those sleepless nights where your mind just won't give you a break. Now let's talk about some tools you can use on your own to quiet that inner chatter. Imagine this, you just finished a big presentation at school or work. Instead of feeling relieved, your inner voice starts going, "You messed that up," or "You're never going to get this right." Sound familiar? That's where reframing comes in. One of the easiest ways to change this negative chatter is by stepping outside of your own head. Here's a trick, try talking to yourself using your name or you instead of I. So instead of saying, "I'm such a failure," say something like, "Henry, you did your best and that's enough," or "You can fix this next time." It's like giving yourself the kind of advice you'd give to your best friend. This shift creates emotional distance, helping you look at the situation more objectively and with less panic. Research has shown that using your name or you during self-talk lowers stress, boosts confidence, and even improves performance when you're under pressure. So the next time that inner critic starts going off, flip the script and give yourself some space to breathe. Try it next time you're doubting yourself. Speak to yourself with compassion and encouragement, just like you would for someone you care about. Now let's talk about another tool, journaling. But don't worry, this isn't just about keeping a diary. The real power of journaling is that it helps you see your thoughts more clearly. When your mind is spinning with worries, putting those thoughts on paper or even speaking them out loud helps you process them in a whole new way. For example, let's say you've been stressing all day about a conversation you had with a friend. You're thinking, "What if they're mad at me?" Or, "I shouldn't have said that." Instead of letting these thoughts race around your head, try writing them down. As you write, you might realize that what you're worried about is actually pretty small in the grand scheme of things. When you see it written out or hear it spoken, it feels less overwhelming, as if you're seeing the problem from a third-person perspective. Suddenly, that big, scary issue feels more manageable. In fact, one of the best parts of journaling is that it helps you realize that many of the things you're anxious about aren't as bad as they seem. When you get your thoughts out of your head and look at them objectively, you often find yourself thinking, "Wait, this isn't that big of a deal." And if writing isn't your thing, you can always speak it out. Record yourself on your phone or just talk to yourself in a quiet room. Hearing your thoughts out loud can have the same calming effect. It's like you're listening to someone else's problem, which helps you see things more clearly. Whether it's on paper or spoken aloud, journaling helps you organize your thoughts and see the situation in a new light. It's about giving yourself the space to step back and realize that most of what you're worried about isn't as bad as it feels in the moment. Let's move on to a tool that might surprise you, lucky charms or embracing superstitions. We've all had that one object or ritual that seems to make everything better, right? Maybe it's a lucky pen, a special piece of jewelry, or even a certain routine you follow before a big event. You might think these are just quirky habits, but they actually play a real role in calming that inner voice. Here's how it works. When we believe that something, a lucky charm for example, will bring us luck or success, our brain creates a positive expectation. This isn't just wishful thinking. It's your brain actively reducing stress and boosting your confidence. The anticipation of something good happening helps quiet that negative chatter and shifts your focus to what's within your control. For example, imagine you're about to take an important exam and your mind is flooded with thoughts like, "What if I fail?" or "I don't know if I'm ready." Now, let's say you have a lucky charm, like a bracelet or a specific routine that you've always used in stressful moments. Just holding that object or following the routine can remind your brain that you've gotten through tough situations before, helping to silence those doubts. It's not just about luck, it's about using your brain's natural ability to form positive expectations. This technique taps into the power of belief and how your mind can influence your mood and performance. Whether it's a lucky item or a personal superstition, these small actions can create a sense of control and comfort when your inner chatter gets too loud. Now let's talk about how relationships can be powerful tools to quiet inner chatter. The first way we can use relationships is by learning how to support others when they're overwhelmed by their own negative thoughts. We've all been there. A friend or family member comes to us, upset, trapped in their head, spiraling with worries. Maybe it's about an upcoming interview or something more personal. In moments like this, one of the most effective ways to help is by providing them with emotional space and perspective. Sometimes they just need to talk it out, and by listening, we allow them to unload that mental burden. But listening isn't the only thing that helps. When someone is stuck in a negative loop, gently reminding them of their strengths and past successes can break the cycle. You're not solving their problem for them. You're helping them remember that they have the tools to handle it. By offering encouragement or suggesting a more positive perspective, you can help them step back and see their situation from a healthier distance. For example, if a friend is worried about an exam, instead of diving into their stress, you might say, "Remember how you nailed that last test? You're more prepared than you think." This kind of reassurance helps them shift their focus and dampens their inner chatter. On the flip side, let's talk about how we can use other support to calm our own inner chatter. Sometimes when our thoughts get too overwhelming, the best thing we can do is reach out to someone we trust. Whether it's a friend, a family member, or a mentor, talking through what's bothering us can be incredibly powerful. When we're stuck in our own heads, everything feels amplified. Small problems seem huge, and solutions feel far away. But when we talk things over with someone else, they can offer a fresh perspective. They're on the outside looking in, which helps them see things more clearly and offer insights we might have missed. For example, if you're spiraling with self-doubt before a big event, calling a friend to talk it through can be like flipping a switch. Just having them listen, or even hearing them say something like, "You've got this," can break the cycle of negativity and bring you back to a calmer state of mind. It's not about finding a solution right away. It's about using the connection with others to reduce the intensity of the chatter. Finally, let's talk about how you can use your environment to quiet your inner chatter. It might not seem obvious, but the space around you plays a huge role in how you feel and think. When your surroundings are cluttered or chaotic, it can amplify the noise in your mind. But with a few simple techniques, you can use your environment to help calm that inner voice. One powerful way to do this is by cleaning your room or desk. It sounds simple, but the act of tidying up helps create order, not just in your space, but also in your mind. When you organize your physical surroundings, you're subconsciously telling your brain, "I've got things under control," and that helps reduce the stress and mental clutter. Another technique is organizing your to-do list. When everything you need to do is floating around in your head, it can feel overwhelming. By writing down and organizing your tasks, you're giving your brain a break from constantly trying to remember everything. It also helps you feel more in control and reduces that feeling of being overwhelmed. For a more calming effect, consider taking a walk in nature. Studies have shown that being outside, especially in green spaces, can significantly reduce stress and help restore your mental focus. It's like hitting the reset button on your brain, helping you disconnect from your worries and find some peace. Even a short walk can clear up a lot of mental fog, and if you can't get outside, try putting indoor plants in your space. Plants not only freshen up your environment, but also have a calming effect. They bring a bit of nature indoors, and that connection to nature, even in small doses, can help quiet your inner chatter. Plus, taking care of plants can be a soothing, grounding activity that keeps your mind focused on something positive. Whether it's organizing your space, getting out into nature, or surrounding yourself with plants, these environmental tools help create a sense of calm and order, which makes it easier to silence those negative thoughts. Chatter is something we all experience, but with these tools, you don't have to let it control you. Remember, small actions can make a big difference in how we feel. If you found this video helpful, be sure to like, subscribe, and share it with anyone who could use a little mental clarity. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more tips on saving yourself.